All right, maybe that's enough of an intro. Texas versus Vandy. Cole, take us away.
This is a really interesting game because Texas. Let me ask you guys this: do you know what this game means for Texas? Just out of curiosity, anybody?
I mean, it's a college football playoff eliminator, no?
From last
It's their first SEC home game of the 2025 season.
They've been on the road for over a month.
We
Yeah.
are in the month of November, and they will play their first SEC home game against Vanderbilt, a top 10 Vanderbilt team that is looking to continue its pathway. Now, let's just start off with this. Vanderbilt can lose this football game, and it doesn't eliminate them from the playoff. Texas loses this football game, it probably does eliminate them from the playoff. The status of Arch Manning is going to be really, really big. He didn't practice on Monday. He didn't practice on Tuesday as of the time of this recording. We don't know where he is on the injury report. So it feels like that Matthew Caldwell is going to get the opportunity to make some plays. Caldwell is a really interesting player because if he's had 3 to 4 moments this year where it didn't make you want to say to yourself, we're going to turn to you over Arch Manning, but you did come away impressed. Had that big time throw against Florida, had the big time touchdown last weekend against Mississippi State, had a couple of runs. He's got some spark to him that can make something move. And I think that that's going to be really interesting on how do you prepare for a quarterback that's built like him versus what you're so accustomed to seeing with Arch Manning, knowing that that mobility is there, knowing that there is a little bit more when it comes to the finesse style of things. And also he's able to stay in the pocket and deliver. Last week I came away very impressed with how he looked going up against a defensive line like Mississippi State. Difference is Vanderbilt's defensive line is better. Vanderbilt's defensive line is miles better. And I think that they're really good at attacking the quarterback and making them one-dimensional, even if you are a quarterback that knows how to make some runs. You're going to have to, I think, trust your ground game in this matchup. It's not beneficial. Vanderbilt has a top 20 run defense, but the only way to take pressure off of Caldwell to be able to build that repertoire downfield is definitely going to be by trusting what you have with your running back system. And CJ Baxter is going to be back, and you're going to have Trey Wisner. Can you find any bit of mobility? Like last week, we saw Ahmad Hardy finally get to near 100 yards. Can you do something along those lines when it comes to the combination of just both Baxter and Wisner at this standpoint? They weren't able to run the football, in my opinion, pretty efficiently last weekend against Mississippi State, but they were able to throw the football with these. This is where the Ryan Wingo game happened. This is where Parker Livingston made some big-time plays. Evan Mosey made some big-time plays. And it is a weak point for Vanderbilt. The one thing that we can say about their defense right now is that they allow explosives down the field, and that if you lose one-on-one matchups, they can take it to the house on you. They absolutely can. So Texas, can your quarterback be able to build a good repertoire with his weapons on the outside? Can you be able to win on third and manageable? Can you get to third and manageable and be a little bit more open with the playbook this weekend? Because if it is a quarterback that has nothing to lose in Matthew Caldwell. On the flip side, Texas did not have a good showing at all defensively last week against Mississippi State until the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they looked like vintage Texas, and they were able to get after Blake Shapen, make him pay, and definitely bring back in enough gusto to pull off the victory in Starkville. So my question is, if you're Vanderbilt, do you have something in the works that we have not seen yet this year? I think you're going to have to. There's some teams I look at and it's like Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I don't want to see them do anything different this weekend because I don't want to see you use this as an advantage to where it ends up hurting you and now you're sitting with 2 losses because you played around with your food too long when it came to South Carolina. Texas A&M, I don't need to see any trickery from you. I need to see a little bit of a spark when it comes to passing attack downfield for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's going to have to win through the air in this game. It's a top 20 run defense. They're great on red zone efficiency. They're great on third down execution with Texas getting after quarterbacks. They take away the mobility of Diego Pavia's legs. So this is going to be one of those games where we look at what are we going to get from a Richie Hoskins? What are we going to get from a Trey Richardson? What are we going to get from a Junior Sherrill? Can we get some dink and dunk passes out of the backfield to Maitland Young and Cedric Alexander? And Pavia going to have to trust his arm to be the X factor in this matchup versus the thing that has gotten him this far, which is his legs to be able to push it ahead forward. So that's, again, a thing that I think is going to be one of the major selling points in this matchup. Can Vanderbilt also win with explosives downfield? Much like when it comes to Vanderbilt, Texas secondary, they've allowed explosive plays. They're very much in that conversation of giving up 18, giving up 21. And they aren't at full capacity right now with Mookie Taft's status in the secondary. So another major element that could eventually benefit a team like Vandy versus helping a team like Texas. Texas also, since joining the SEC, has yet to lose a game at home outside of the Georgia one. They're 16-1 in their last 17 matchups at DKR. So there's reasons to believe that, again, first SEC home game, knowing the college football playoff is on the line, trying to make sure that you set the tone, in front of your hometown crowd. You save your season going into the month of November. And there's still people out there that tell you, hey, Steve Sarkisian, he may be saying to everybody right now, I don't want to go to the NFL, but if it gets south, I may go to the NFL. Good way to silence that is by getting a win at home. And I think that those are some things that you're definitely going to have to look at. The last thing that I'm looking at in this matchup, more than anything else, I think the most important thing in this matchup is going to be, can we see Diego Pavia run at any point? If he can run at any point, then I think that you're going to be able to watch Vanderbilt come away with a win. If not, this is going to be a game that actually I understand why it favors Texas because of the betting Vegas odds, which again is stupid because of, let's be real, if Vegas saw Texas logo on Vanderbilt's helmet, they'd put them as the leader.
I agree with you. I think that I can buy why Texas is getting favored in this game, but really I think it should be flipped. It's -2.5 right now in favor of Texas. I think Vanderbilt has looked sharper. I do not love a situation where Texas with a backup quarterback is in a must-win game, because this is essentially, if they're not already eliminated, this is basically the eliminator. This would be 3 losses, not all within conference play. You have the Ohio State game, which is quote unquote a good loss. So I understand that, and it's out of conference, but this would be the end of Texas. So putting things in the hands of your backup quarterback where you have no run game, you're not all of a sudden going to discover a run game. Your offensive line has not been good, not been healthy much of this season. That's not going to change overnight. So putting your backup quarterback in a situation where it's like, got to have it, more desperation situations, I don't love. But this is definitely going to be a game where Pavia, I think to your point, he has to be good running the football, because he has not been stellar throwing the football down the field. That has been not great for Vanderbilt this season in general, and especially as of late. They need to commit to the run game, but this is still a really good Texas defense. They are full of athletes and full of freaks. So I think the over-under is, what, 44 and a half?
44 and a half.
I think it's a bit of a dogfight. Give me 21-17 Vanderbilt in this game. I think it's going to be ugly. And for all the people out there saying, oh, well, Haynes King should be getting more love than Diego Pavia in the Heisman race, know that I agree with you, but Diego Pavia is the one who's getting the national spotlight right now. So it's a weird time.
I'll get right back to the video, but first I do want to give some love to Sleeper. Make sure, as this month is winding down, that you go get your free play. You don't even have to make the play, but if they're giving something away for free, go take it. Use our code CFA for a free $20 play on the Sleeper app. That lasts through October. Don't miss out. Don't be messaging me on November 1st and saying, oh, can we still get it? No, go get it right now. Click the link in the description when this video is over, and it'll auto-populate that code for you so you get your free $20 play. We'll play this game more or less every single Wednesday live on the Power 2. You can also get $100, up to $100 match on your first deposit, but you don't have to deposit anything. Just go get the free play.
I will push back just a little bit and say, as much as I do think that you need to see Pavia win with his legs, this is one where he's got to win with his arm. And the thing that I will really push back with is, if I'm Vanderbilt, I want to see him win with his arm, because there's going to be a point where you get to a crossroads in the college football playoff if you are lucky enough to get there, because they still can go 9-3 down the stretch. They can go 8-4 for all we know. But if they make the college football playoff, the teams that are more multifaceted, the teams that can win in different ways, those are the ones that you have to prepare for, that usually you're going to have to give up on one side. Either you're going to let them run the football and you're going to stop them through the air, or you're going to give up points through the air and you're going to attest them and make them not be able to run. So I got to see from Pavia that we can get that passing attack downfield. He this season has yet to throw for 200 plus yards against any Power 4 team. This may have to be one of those games that's a non-negotiable to win. Like when we do the sleeper pick, if Pavia's name is on there, I'm telling you what, you got to put him with the over in passing yards if he wants to win this football game. Because if it's the under, I don't see a scenario where Texas doesn't win.
We do the more or less with Sleeper. We love Sleeper.
More or less.
Spoiler alert, it's on there. So
yeah,
stay tuned for that. My big question on this is, can Pavia hold up? And I love how tough he is, but this is the third really tough game that they're going to play in a row on the road. Granted, this is Texas's third tough game in a row, and they've played much worse competition in Mississippi State and Kentucky. But I mean, as tough as I think Pavi is, both on and off the field, I think eventually, yeah. I mean, I don't know that he can just sustain for the rest of the season, just taking the hits that he's going to continue to take. And so, yeah, I kind of agree with Cole. Like, he's got to do some things with his arm in this one. They've got to lean on the ground game from running back rushes, not from his legs making miracles and him going in there and trying to bully some of these Texas defenders. And so that's a big question to me. How much did Texas find in that 17-point comeback in the fourth quarter that gives them confidence to not be just absolutely pedestrian offensively? Because if they're not, I like Vandy's defense. I like the veteran style that they play. They're obviously extremely well coached. If Texas can't take advantage of some of the mismatches they have offensively, then I don't want to say that 17-point comeback was for nothing, because you still won the game. So congratulations on beating Mississippi State. But if it's almost like, will we look back and say that was the spark that Texas needed to play closer to? I don't think they'll ever be like what we this year. I don't think they'll get to where we thought they would be. But was that the spark that got them closer to what maybe our preseason expectations were for them? And again, yeah, this is big for Texas. If Texas loses this one, they're losing a couple more afterward. Like, I don't see them going in and beating Georgia, and I don't think they beat A&M at the end of the year. They could play spoiler in one of these for sure. But this is a big game for Texas, because you don't want to end up hanging your head afterward and realizing your season's over. So I don't know, man. I don't feel super confident about anything. My heart says Vandy wins. My head says that Texas ekes it out and just plays a little bit better. So I'm super split. I'll go with my heart, but with no confidence. 21-20, Vandy. 0%.
Again, let me phrase it this way. If you told me that Texas won this football game, I wouldn't be shocked. Again, it's at home. You got a backup quarterback coming on in that they don't know how to prepare for, that you've barely seen enough film on him. Outside of what you watched him last season down the stretch at Troy, because I think that he started 5 games last year at Troy before he entered the portal. You don't have a lot of things to go off of. And maybe that's why you lean into, okay, well, Texas, you're going to see some breakout plays from wide receivers that maybe was missing because of they've been working with Codwell in the second team offense. And maybe that's kind of a benefactor for a Mosley, for a Khalil Lockett if he gets on in the game, Parker Livingston, which got washed at tight end, injuries at tight end. I could see that. I could also see Texas just not having enough juice. But what this really comes back to me for is, I think it's a special season out in Nashville. I also think that when you look at this team in general, they're a veteran roster that understands this may be the one shot to beat Texas. Don't even look at the playoff. I'm just talking about in general. This may be the one shot to beat Texas in the history of your program in this new version of the SEC where NIL is massive. I think that that's what prevails. I think 24-21 final score. I think you're right on that line of 44.5. So take the under, take Vanderbilt to win, take Vanderbilt to beat the cover.
I think Vanderbilt also revenge from last year. They had a lot of momentum and then ran into Texas at home in what they thought was a magical year. So they'll be up for this game. By the way, shout out to Paul in the comments section with a brand new type of SEC hypothetical I didn't know existed. If Tom and Cole think that Texas hasn't been eliminated already with Georgia and Texas A&M to play, they're smoking their own product. Look at the schedule. I didn't know you could be eliminated by games you haven't even played yet. Incredible stuff, Paul.
This is
the
my
SEC, where idiots go to thrive.
Listen, I kind of agree with Paul. I think they're already eliminated. I'm
right, but you
we
can't
get
be eliminated by games you haven't played yet. It's just stupid.
We get enough of the other hypotheticals of games that have already happened. Like, oh well, if this happened this week, so I'm gonna ride with Paul. They're already eliminated. They're eliminated in my mind, Paul.
Let's jump to the conclusion. Screw it.
If they're eliminated, then you know what? So is USC. So is Iowa. So is everybody else. Everyone else eliminated.
Well, Tom eliminated.
Ohio State's eliminated. Everybody's
eliminated. Tom eliminated Virginia. If we're being honest, Tom started the trend.
Just being a hater.
You know what was the one that made me mad for Tom? When he eliminated Louisville. When he just said, "Oh, it's Miami," I was like, "What did Louisville do to you?"
Nothing. It's just they're going to only go with 2 ACC teams. I think
but what if Louisville has the head-to-head?
I don't think they're going to care.
God,
they're going to care.
You want to talk about the way to rally the troops for college football sanity? That is the way to guarantee that we just get rid of divisions in general.